have two questions for you, Tyler Johnston. What is your porno name? Your porno name is comprised of your first pet and the street you grew up on.
My porno name would be Shaky Cottonwood.
This is Shaky. I learned something about Shaky. Shaky and I just shared a meet and greet backstage with some people, some lovely people. And I learned in the course of that meet and greet that Shaky, what's your last name, Cottonwood?
Cottonwood, yeah.
That Shaky Cottonwood hates weddings.
Yeah,
and I'm like, wow. Because I think weddings are fun. There's free food, free drinks if you go that way, Robbie, if you're a drinker. And then dancing with the ladies or the fellas. This is fun.
Wait, so you're Richard, you're a married man, been married a long time.
Yes.
You like weddings because you get to dance with the ladies.
Not now. When I was single, I liked weddings. Now they're a real snooze fest.
No further questions, Your Honor.
You are young, you're nubile, you've got a porno name that makes sense, you should like weddings.
Okay, I have fun when I'm there.
Okay.
But it's just the process of getting there, picking out a gift, and if I don't know anyone...
All the better, I know what you're saying. Because if you don't know anybody, then hell with it, right? Go nuts.
Literally be Shaky
Yeah,
Cottonwood.
you can be Shaky Cottonwood. Introduce you. I'm from the Cottonwoods, the Vancouver Cottonwoods. Nice to see you.
They call me Shaky.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shaky Cottonwood. I'll see you.
Hell of an introduction. I'm taking this off. And
Went jacket off. He just went jacket off. Shaky went jacket off.
I was just telling some people I had a coffee this morning. I'm a year and a half into the coffee game, and it still makes me shake and sweat. So that's why the jacket came off, so you can eliminate all those sexy thoughts now. So questions. Should we start right away here, or? Hello?
Hi. I was wondering if you know any good party tricks.
That was me processing what I want to share and not share. Party tricks. Like, you mean things to impress a crowd of people?
Well, like if you were at a party and there was kind of that weird, awkward, where no one's really doing anything, what would you bust out doing to kind of break the ice and...
Well, I'd probably have to put on some sort of like gangster hip-hop song. Something with like a real heavy beat. And then I would probably try and start the dance floor, personally. If that didn't work, maybe I'd go into the kitchen, the bar area, make some sort of cocktail specific to my mood, and get the party started that way.
Thank you.
And that was the G-rated version.
And R now?
I would just take my clothes off and jump on the couch. Hello.
Hi, Tyler. This is a question I've been asking all the supernatural stars I've seen. It's, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Shaky Cottonwood.
Cottonwood. That's a good question. So many beautiful trees. I'd have to be something probably specific to here. Or just like a Christmas tree. Because everyone has one in their house, there's gifts underneath me, you can hang things off of me. And when you're done with me, you just throw me out.
For the record, Mark Pellegrino would be a Mark Pelletrino. And Gil would be a pecan tree.
It's edible? I like that question, that was fun. Cottonwood, it was right there, it was too easy. Hello.
Hi, I saw you earlier today ordering something at Tim Hortons, and I went
Breakfast
down.
sandwich and that coffee I was talking about.
So my question actually was like, what's your favorite thing to have? Like, what's your favorite food?
Oh, it depends what day of the week you find me and what I've just had the night before. I love sushi almost more than anything in the world. And it's you know, you guys have been in Vancouver now for 5 hours or a couple days or whatever, but so I'm sure you've seen thousands of sushi restaurants. I'm a big burger guy too, like I probably eat too many of them. I was gonna get Fat Burger this morning right beside Tim Hortons, but I thought it was like 10:45 in the morning, so maybe I should start my day with a Fat Burger. I love lasagna, I had a delicious lasagna the other night. I like stir fries, I love rotisserie chicken, I love Nando's. Dessert-wise, I've been drinking bubble tea recently with pearls. I really like the bubble tea with pearls. I love ice cream. I love fruit smoothies. Chicken wings. Didn't really narrow that down for you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. What am I gonna have for lunch now is the question. Let's go left and right, I guess.
Hi. My question was, you worked on season 1 and then you worked later in the series. What was it like working with the boys from then and now?
Well, they didn't speak to me either time. The first time I was 18 years old. I had maybe done 2 or 3 actor roles, and I got a guest star on Supernatural. I think I was 17 years old, actually, for the first episode I did. I was obviously very excited. It was a guest star role, so I was there for multiple days. I had multiple scenes. I had a character arc. It was my first guest star, like a real guest star role. So I was very, very excited. The boys were, you know, great. They were both pros at that point. They were like 23, 24, 25 years old, and they were like, you know, seasoned vets at that point, very welcoming. I don't think they really had any idea as to what the show had in store for them either. Coming back season 8, I was shocked that I got the role, to be honest with you, just because I worked on it previously. And I was just saying, actually, Jared came up and shook my hand. He had remembered me from season 1. He didn't say, you know, hey, Tyler, it's great seeing you. He's like, hey, you're that guy. I'm like, yeah. I'm like the bugs, like bugs everywhere. It was like, and Jensen just kind of looked at me like, you know, like a head nod sort of thing. And I can't blame him. They meet 500 people every hour. But I mean, those guys are, you know, they're gentlemen, they're pros. I haven't heard a bad thing about them. And I don't have a bad thing to say about them either. Except for they're really tall. It's not a bad thing either, I guess. Did that even answer your question? Okay. I forgot what the question was.
Hey, Tyler.
Hello.
Cutest angel in the Harrison.
Is that the question, or?
I wonder how difficult it was to come back onto the show as a different entity.
Well, we joked at other conventions saying that was Matt Pike running away from his family, starting his own hot dog vendor. So it's the same guy, he's just grown. And his face seems to look very similar after 10 years for some reason.
He bears a striking resemblance to somebody we've seen before.
Yeah, you know, it was cool though. I got to be an angel, where before I was just like a boring human being.
Yeah. But honestly, like, I really feel like the kid from Bugs could have actually been an honest vessel.
Right? Changed his name.
Well, he doesn't actually have to change
Maybe
his
Alfie
name.
was
It's
just a
actually
nickname.
his, just Samandriel at that point, right?
Right. To be honest, I hated the outfit at first. But now I really
It was
like
pretty
it.
weenie.
Yeah, it was such a wiener outfit. I felt like such a dweeb. I remember trying it on, I'm like, is this really what they've decided on? Is this what it's come down to, is red and white stripes with a hot dog on my friggin'
It's
baseball
just what
hat?
an angel wears. I mean, really.
But now I love it, you know? I was gonna say it's iconic, but it's not iconic. It's just something that you can definitely remember, and I get people tweeting out to me pictures of drawings they've done, and you know, clay figures they've made and stuff. It was cool coming back and being an angel. I'm part of that, like, angel group now, you know? It's
Still the cutest angel in the Harrison.
Thank you very much. See ya. Hello.
Hello. I'm actually from Vancouver, and everybody feels like they have bragging rights about where they come from. But I was wondering, do you feel very...
Have we met before?
Yes, we went to the same high school.
Yeah, I'm like, I recognize you. Yeah. It's hard to see you from here, but I recognize you for sure.
I
I didn't hear that, but...
Don't worry about it.
Okay. So fucking friggin'... Am I allowed to swear here? All the yeses makes me feel like I'm not supposed to.
Fuck you! Just give in to the peer pressure. You'll be fine.
I've been doing it my whole life.
Good. Anyway, yeah, so do you ever, being an actor and being all over, do you ever really feel proud that you're from Vancouver?
5,000%. I was saying earlier today, we were talking backstage, and every time I leave and I come home, I realize how fortunate you and I are to have been born in a place like this and have grown up in a place like this. I go biking, my friends and I go hiking, we play roller hockey in the summer, we play ice hockey in the winter. That was such a Canadian sentence. And we have some of the best, not just the film industry, but I mean, we have some of the best directors in the world, actors in the world, writers in the world. I'm very, very proud to be from Vancouver, and it's changing so quickly right in front of our eyes that it does scare me a little bit. I'm living in the Commercial Drive area right now, and it's older-ish neighborhood of Vancouver. There's a lot of old architecture and stuff, and they're threatening to put up a bunch of towers in the area, which is like really shitty, because it's the last sort of character-y neighborhood of Vancouver. As you can tell, this city's blowing up tremendously, and I just really hope we can keep some of the heritage. Canada's not an old country, 1867 is when Canada became a country, and we're getting rid of all this history that we do have for these new huge glass buildings that mean nothing other than beauty and financial gain. And now I'm ranting, but I'm very, very proud of this city, and that's it.
We're very proud of you, so congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's nice seeing you.
Nice to see you.
Holy smoke. And an awful yearbook quote, too. It's like, to all the haters out there, peace. So hip-hop.
I have a question about a wedding. What would be your wedding song?
I've given literally zero thought to that. I mean, would my wife have any say in the matter?
Obviously.
Oh, well, then it would probably be a different song. Wedding song? Is the wedding song, is that like when you walk down the aisle, or is that like when you cut the cake, or when does wedding songs happen? The first dance. And is it a slow song then? Oh. maybe like Rough Riders Anthem from DMX, or anything from Dr. Dre. What a stupid answer. Can I get back to you on that? I'm gonna think about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and
How about if you think of one, you can sing it at karaoke tonight?
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna get back to you on that, though. I'm gonna think while I'm answering these other questions and not think about those questions. Hello.
Hi, Tyler. I was just wondering, what was your favorite part about being an angel?
The outfit?
I mean, it was a pretty nice outfit.
I didn't really realize how exclusive of a club it was until after I died, unfortunately. But, it was cool that Misha, who I think is the main angel, the big dog on campus, it was cool that he was the one to kill me and hold me while I died in his arms. It's cool that I get to be in this angel, group. And I got to be like a wise soul in a youth group. That was pretty cool too. It was also tough, learning the angel speak. That was a challenge, but it was really cool, I'm currently trying to learn Spanish, which is a much different language than that language.
Yeah.
But that was tough. That was cool. Learning a language, I guess, and being held by Misha would probably be my...
That would be everyone's favorite part, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Jesus.
Hi.
Hello.
What was it like being tortured on the show?
It sucked. Am I going blind? Like everywhere. The answer's not yes, whoever said yes. It sucked. But it was like, it sucked in a cool way, you know? It was like a day straight where I had this metal thing on my head, and whoever designed it did a great job, except for the fact that the 2 pressure points were literally right on both of my temples. So this big metal thing sitting on my head, digging into my temples all day long, and they literally, they strapped me into the chair. So I'm strapped into this chair with this huge heavy thing on my head, nothing I can do about it. Sometimes they'd take me out of the chair, sometimes they would just leave me there. Depending on how much time they had in between takes, so it's like, there's no point unstrapping him just to strap him up 5 seconds later. So, it was the nicest form of torture, because I'm on a TV set, and let's be real, it's not that tough of a friggin' job. I mean, as far as tough jobs and torture is concerned, I was okay. But that helmet sucked. The frickin' thing sucked.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Tyler.
Hello.
Yeah, about your gastric problem, you can try white coffee.
White coffee.
White coffee, yeah. A lot of creamers and less coffee.
Less acidic. The acid definitely fricks with me.
White coffee. Try white coffee. Okay, my question is, what is an advice a fellow performer have given to you that you take too hard and do it to perfect your craft?
That's a nice question. There's an actor named Tyler Labine, who's from Vancouver as well. He's on a show called Deadbeat. He was in Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. He was in Breaker High with Ryan Gosling like 73 years ago, whenever that was. I did a show with his younger brother Kyle when I was 18, and I'm not going to tell you the name of that show. And Tyler sort of became a mentor to me, Tyler Labine. And we sat down one time, we were at dinner, and he just said to me, the show I did when I was 18 wasn't necessarily the greatest of shows, and I was the lead of it, so sometimes you kind of take that responsibility on your shoulders when it's not entirely your fault, either the success or failure of the show. And Tyler just sat me down and said, hey, I know you're going to be auditioning for some things you're not too passionate about. I know not every audition is going to be like a game changer, but you need to go in there and do the best job that you can do and not take it for granted, because these people are wanting to see you and wanting you for their project, and you're putting your name and your face forward. So the last thing you want to do is represent yourself poorly. So he just told me every audition, no matter how big or small, be as prepared and professional as you can be. Because you never know who's watching, and you never know, the people making this, not so great project 5 years from now might be making, the greatest of projects. So he said, approach every audition with professionalism. It's your face that you're representing and yourself. So that's definitely some advice I've kept with me.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thanks for the white coffee recommendation. I'm shaking up here.
Hi, Tyler. As we all know, there's lots of fooling around that goes on the Supernatural set. And I was just wondering if you were subject or exposed to any of those shenanigans that happen.
I remember Jared and Jensen when I was strapped in that chair. They had a fight sequence around me, and I remember Jared and Jensen pulled some sort of prank on the stunt guys. They were preparing for a kick or something, and I think Jared threw him off and pretended he was hurt, and it scared the hell out of these stunt guys. And that was just a little glimpse of what I saw. How they're big fools on set apparently, and I know they were trying to get at Misha. Something was going on. They were going back and forth, and I remember Jared was trying really hard to surprise Misha with something. He wouldn't disclose what it was, and Misha was on guard. He was well aware of what was happening, and he wasn't going to let it happen, and Jared just kept trying to sneak it in. I think after 10 years, it was season 8 at that time, I think after 8 years you have to make sure you're having fun. And those guys do a good job of keeping the set light. Everyone there is having a good time. I remember it moving very quickly and efficiently, and I don't remember ever if feeling like there was a time rush or any sort of hostility or anything like that. It was a very friendly, efficient set. And those guys are a big part of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What's going on with is he like wings or something back there? Oh, and a sword. Holy smokes, I can't see anything. Oh, that's fucking cool.
Hi, Tyler.
Hello.
So this is your first appearance, and a very typical question that is often asked is if you could play any other character on Supernatural, who would you play? Who would you want to play?
I mean, The Boys is too easy. Misha's too easy at this point. Mark's too easy at this point. A friend of mine, Scott Patey, he played, I just name dropped him there. Now you can find him on Twitter at Scott Patey. He played, there was an episode where there was a group of people who were all dressing like Sam and Dean. He was dressed as Sam, and he actually ended up getting murdered by a demon or something like that. And he said he had a blast. So I would like to play Scott Patey's character. I don't know the name of it, but it was in that episode where there was a bunch of Sam and Dean impersonators. And there was like a beautiful ghost, I think, that caught him in like a hallway. She was beautiful. And killed him.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi, I was wondering what your favorite joke is.
Oh God. I heard a really, really great one the other day. I'm awful at remembering jokes. Okay, here. Why'd the robber take a bath?
Why?
So he could have a clean getaway.
I like it.
It's fine. It's fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No one's there. Or I've officially gone blind. Let's go back this way.
Hi.
Hey.
Bugs is actually one of my favorite episodes.
You're the first person to ever say that.
Exactly. I know it gets a bad reputation, but actually it's mostly because of you. I love you.
Okay, I thought it was the other way around. I'm like, oh, you just came on stage and dissed me.
So, since I know it gets a bad reputation, do you actually have any good memories of Bugs?
I do. I do. Just to reiterate that story, it being one of the worst episodes or whatever. I was reading for Revolution, Eric Kripke's new show. It was the second reading, so I walked into the room. I obviously know who he is, and Jon Favreau was a producer and director as well. So I walk in, Jon Favreau, Eric Kripke in this room. I bring my sides. I walk in. I'm like, hey guys. So like, hey Tyler. He looks at my resume. He's like, oh, Supernatural, Eric Kripke. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I was in the Bugs episode. He's like, oh. He's like, you know, a lot of people in Supernatural say that's the worst episode. And I was like, oh, yeah. And he goes, it's not you. He's like, it's just, and so like, here I am sitting in front of these two big wigs, auditioning for the second or third time for their TV show, and he's telling me it's the worst episode. I'm like, thanks for the friggin' confidence booster before. So there's that. But Kim Manners, who was the director of that, to tell you the positive story. He was a very kind man. He was super nice to me. And there was that scene when we're all in the attic, and they had like 35,000 real bees that they let loose in this attic that the set people had made. So it's like a wooden rooftop that we all climb into, and they release the bees, and the bees aren't going anywhere. They're just going towards the lights, and they're not swarming the way they want them to. But there's like thousands and thousands and thousands of bees in there, and they sent us 5 actors in there, just like this, and we were a little tentative. I mean, I'm not really scared of bees, but when you multiply it by 50,000, then it gets a little scary. But Kim Manners, I remember he took off his bee protective suit. He had shorts and a t-shirt on, and he came into the set with us and was just there with us as the bees were flying around, and he just wanted us to know that he was there with us. And you know, a small gesture like that, especially early in my career, was something that stuck out with me. You know, it's when a director has your back like that, even if it's such a simple gesture as climbing into this bee-infested attic with us, I'll never forget that. He was a very, very sweet man. He was a very sweet man.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. You got straps here, here, here. Okay. Right on. What is the character? Thank you. Yeah, I should.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just wondering, you were in the Supernatural parody to Shake It Off, and you just looked really excited to be in that, so I was just wondering, how was that for you?
I felt so stupid. It was like, there's this big white screen, they're like, okay, we're gonna put on a song and you're gonna dance. It was like, that's it? That's the direction? My buddy was there, it was in Vegas, I think maybe there was like 1 or 2 cocktails involved. And I just danced the silliest way I knew how. And I think I like threw like a blue steel in too. No, maybe tonight at karaoke. Said maybe. That was fun though. I was literally doing that for probably 35 seconds and then I was done. That was my contribution. Who took their shirt off? One of the guys took their shirt off.
Matt Cohen.
Why didn't they ask me to take my shirt off?
I don't think they had to ask him. I think he just did it.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not gonna say what I'm saying next. Because you guys hold on to things. I said some stuff in the last couple of years and I still have it brought up, you know? I shared a story, okay, guess I'm sharing it again. In Vancouver, there's a beach called Wreck Beach. It's as far west as you can go. It's a nude beach. Me and my friends go sometimes or whatever, hang out or whatever. And when we went like 5-6 years ago for the first time, a friend of mine from Australia was there, and he took his pants off, and you know, we were lotioning up like responsible people do, and he was worried that people would mistake him applying sunscreen. Why am I talking about penis again? He was afraid that people would think him applying sunscreen to his nether regions was him playing with himself. And I was like, well, first off, it shouldn't take you more than like 5 to 10 seconds anyway. And he refused to, and he burnt his penis at Wreck Beach. So I mentioned this like in 2013, I did a convention in Europe, and people still tweet me pictures of Sunny Delight. Sunny D, Sunny D, Sunny D. It's never gonna go away. Sunny D. Hello.
Hi. You mentioned that you played hockey. What position did you play?
I grew up playing center. I like being able to roam. Are you clapping? Do you know you know the position? Yeah. Are you wearing a Rangers hat? Okay. I played center growing up. I like to wander. And recently I started playing wing, right wing, because I can skate less. And I hate defense. I'm so irresponsible defensively. I get the puck, I skate, and I forget to come back.
Yeah, thank you.
You play hockey at all?
Yeah, I played for 6 years.
What position do you play?
I was all over the place.
What was your favorite position?
Well, I played goalie for like 4 years, though.
Goalie?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, maybe we could play sometime.
Pardon?
Nothing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What position do you play? Oh shit, a couple goalies. We can get a game going. We just need 9 more players. 8, 7. You got a question?
Yes, hi Tyler, welcome to Vancon.
Thank you very much.
So I like to do a lot of traveling, and so if you've done a lot of traveling, what's the favorite place that you visited? Or if you haven't done a lot of traveling, where would you most like to go?
I'm going to answer both of those questions.
Go for it.
Because I'm feeling friendly. My favorite place, I was actually talking this morning, it's not like, I have a couple favorite places. When I was 18, that show I told you about that I didn't want to mention, we filmed in France. So I got to go to Paris and Amsterdam and Brussels. I really enjoyed Europe, but my favorite place as far as just getting there, unwinding and relaxing, I'd have to say is Hawaii. I've been 3 times now, and I just love it. You know, it's paradise with just the right amount of America. Because like, you know, they use you know, American currency, and there's restaurants, and you can buy everything, but at the same time you can go sit on the beach and not worry about heavy traffic. And I like going there and unwinding, bringing a book or two. Who am I kidding? I can't even get through one book. Bringing a book and sitting by the pool. My mom loves it too, so that's definitely one of my favorite places. I would love to go to Japan.
It is awesome. Do it.
You've been?
Yeah, I went there a couple of years ago for like 10 days. It was a school trip, not nearly long enough. As long as you can be there, be there.
Did you go to Tokyo?
I did for 8 hours.
Was it madness? I hear it's madness.
The one place we went, we were really like just on one street. It's called Harajuku, and there's like a lot of markets.
The Harajuku girls, Gwen Stefani?
I'm not familiar with that, but
Me neither.
yeah, we were in kind of like smaller cities in Japan going up to that point, and once you get in Tokyo, it's a lot like Seattle or just these really international cities, and that's where you'll see the wild hairstyles and people dressed up all crazy. It's awesome.
I'm hoping to go. I have a friend of mine who's half Japanese. He has family there, so I'm hoping to go get like a genuine Japanese experience with him and his family. You know, like sleep on the floor with mats and pillows, and like,
that's really fun.
Yeah, like I hope I get a chance to do that. We're gonna try and plan some. You know, either the end of 2016. It sucks that we have to like plan life now. Like as adults, you gotta like plan in advance and stuff like that. So I'm hoping 2016 I'm gonna get to Japan.
Well, good luck. I hope you make it there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, how you doing?
Fine, how are you?
Good to see ya.
Okay, after having been on Supernatural, has that opened up any doors to other projects?
Oh, I mean, like I shared in that story, Eric Kripke seemed to really remember that. You know, it has. Like, it's definitely a well-recognized show. It's on my resume, multiple episodes, recurring. You know, it's not like I got an email being like, hey, I saw you on Supernatural. I'd love for you to be in my next feature, Martin Scorsese. But, you know, any experience is great experience. And anyone who ever asks me, like, I want to be an actor, how do I be an actor? And it's just like, obviously, you know, you can't just hop onto a show like Supernatural. But just do as much as you can, gain knowledge, make relationships. You never know who's going to be making something 5-10 years from now. So yeah, I didn't get an email directly linked with Supernatural, but it's definitely helped, yeah. And then here I am now. I mean, if Supernatural didn't exist, I wouldn't be here, you know? Is that it? That's all? Any last minutes? That's it, that's all?
What?
What?
Look at our timing. How about that, huh? Tyler is, we're so excited because he's going to be at karaoke tonight. And he told me, he said, Rich, I'm wearing a costume. I'm not telling you what it is. I'll act embarrassed when you say it on stage with a little shtick where I say, Rich, I told you I wasn't wearing a costume, and I'll go, but Tyler, it's a whole thing we're going to do, but he's going to really blow it out of the water tonight. And
Right out of the water.
I'm so excited. Ladies and
The
gentlemen.
real story is, he asked me earlier, he's like, are you wearing a costume tonight? Don't answer. It's like, why ask me a question if the next thing you're going to say is don't answer?
You know why? Because I realized suddenly, you're going to surprise me. And I just didn't want to know, so I was like, are you wearing la 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 la, don't want to know. And he's like, I'm not, la la la, I'm not wearing a costume, li li li. He did da 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 da.
I don't have a costume planned.
Oh, that's what he's saying. I'm not buying that for a minute, everybody. Again, you rascal. You old dog. The old I'm not wearing a costume bit. Robbie, buying a nickel, right?
I don't know, Rich.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, the costume-loving, porno-named, wedding-hating Tyler Johnston, everybody.
My name is Tyler. I'm carrying the wheel. Back in the office, I was the filer.